everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rosemary. So glad you decided to join me. If you are returning, thank you, thank you, thank you. Know that I truly appreciate each and every one of you. If you're checking this out for the first time, please consider hitting that subscribe button, like, comment, share, and hit that bell so you're notified anytime I upload a new video. Well, I am here to do a 15 question tag, and the person that tagged me was my dear friend Gail, and her channel is Gail Patricia Dollar Tree Hauls and More. Gail, thank you for tagging me and including me. I really appreciate it. As I was watching Gail's video on all her 15 questions, or her responses and answers, oh, I was like, oh, those are fun questions. That would be really fun to do. And then at the end, she tagged me, and I'm like, oh, fun. So if you haven't seen Gail's a 15 question tag, go check her out. She had incredible answers and such a fun video. Okay, just as a little note to everyone, especially those of you that are new, I have tried to write my questions a large print. That's no guarantee that I could read it. So here we go. Question 1. What month were you born? March. That was easy. 2. What is your zodiac sign? I am definitely an Aries. So all the way. I have a really good friend that she and I are Aries, and we get along so fabulously. And she says how she describes us is we are the happy pill for the world. So there you go. 3. What is your worst subject? Okay. Through high school and when I was studying at the university, my worst subject was math. It's like, oh my gosh. I'm even sitting in the front row, but I can't see the chalkboard because I, have poor vision, as you guys know, and cannot see anything that the teacher's doing. He's doing all his calculations and everything, and I'm trying to keep it straight in my head, trying to follow what he's saying in my head, and it does not work for math people. No, I did horrible. I barely passed in high school, and I took the minimum that I had to take in high school, and then in college too. It's like, what can I get away with taking math? Because oh my gosh, I just struggled, and oh my gosh, it was just and so I'd have to say math. Number 4, what is your favorite cereal? Well, I love cereal, but in the recent year or year and a half, I've discovered I can't have anything that has flour or wheat or anything like that. So that was like such a bummer, because I think when I was a kid, I liked Sugar Pops. Those were some of my favorite, and fruit and Fruit Loops is what I was trying to think of. Fruit Loops, those were my favorite. Now, I have to say the only kind I can eat is Cheerios. But I love Cheerios, so I'd have to say Cheerios. Okay, 5. What is your favorite color? That's easy. Purple. Any shade of purple. 6. What is my favorite type of sandwich? Again, I can't have bread products or anything like that, but in the past, when I could, any kind of Italian sub with pepperoni and salami and all of that stuff. Yum! I sometimes go to some of our sandwich shops and have a lettuce wrap like that, so I like that. 7. What is... Oh my gosh, I knew I was going to have trouble reading. What is your favorite car? I talked about this recently. My favorite car, yes, is an old time, 19, I believe I get the year right. Otherwise, my husband is such a Mopar a fanatic. I believe it's a 1970 um, Dodge Challenger, purple, in purple. Yes. So again, if ever there was like any kind of miracle surgery and I had vision restored, the next day, 9 o'clock in the morning, I'd be at the Dodge dealer buying me a 1970 Dodge Challenger for sure. So or I just had this miracle surgery or wake up all of a sudden, that's what I would be doing. Number 8. Uh, Gosh, I wrote all of this large, and I'm still can't see it. Oh, favorite board game. I do not like playing board games because I can't either read the cards that are associated with the board game or the spaces that you have to go or the little pieces. It's like, oh, I just don't like playing board games. However, I do like playing checkers, and my parents had bought me a set of checkers, and I was trying to see if there was something that might be the equivalent size of the checkers. I think, let me try to get this lid off this jar. I think the checker pieces were this big. That's how big the checker pieces were. My parents bought me, and the actual board, the squares, it was a big vinyl piece, and then the checkers were about that big. So my dad and I used to play checkers all the time, and oh my gosh, that was so fun. But and then oh wait, we're talking about board games, so let's leave it at that. So that's one. I think that would be what my answer is regarding board games. Okay, where did you grow up? Here in Albuquerque. Born, raised, yep. Okay, 10. Who is your favorite Disney character? I was thinking about favorite Disney character, and I think, not positive, and I don't know why I don't know this, but I love Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. Oh my gosh. And Piglet. I love Winnie the Pooh and his little pal Piglet. Love Winnie the Pooh's my answer. 11. Who is your hero? My hero is my dad. My dad for sure. And I've been thinking about what I was going to do this coming Tuesday, which is the 21st, because that marks 2 years that my dad has passed. But let me tell you why my dad's my hero. So, you guys, I've talked about this before. I was born with very limited vision in my left eye. I did have 20/20 in my right eye. Then, when we were vacationing in California when I was 8 years old, a couple of us kids went outside to play, and we decided we were going to pick up rocks and throw them at each other. Why we thought this was a good idea, I have no idea. Anyway, we stood across from each other, and the first rock that was thrown, I got hit in the right eye, the eye that I had 20/20 vision in. And at that point, I lost all my vision in my right eye. Now, my left eye, that was the eye that I was born very limited vision in. So now I'm left with very limited vision in my left eye only. So we come back home and I start 3rd grade, and I struggle. And at that time, there was no special ed at all in public school. So officials came to talk to my parents, and they said, your daughter needs to go to the School for the Blind in Alamogordo, and it's an institution. I had to go and live there. And I went there, and I lived there for 2 years, and it was hard. It was hard to be away from my parents. However, I did learn a lot, but that whole 2 years, I'm sorry, this is emotional for me. The whole 2 years that I was there, of course, my parents always sent me care packages. Every opportunity they had, they came to visit. I was able to come back home on a bus and visit. And I got to call every Sunday. And, my parents just were there all the time. And I know that other kids that were in the institution with me never had visitors ever. So my parents would bring a huge box. Oh gosh, I don't know if I can get through this. They used to bring a massive box of goodies for not only me, but for me to share with all my friends. Anyway, all that time, that entire time that I was up there, my dad went up to our state capitol in Santa Fe every minute he had a chance and would talk to anybody that would listen to him, and he'd say, I want my child home. I want her home. I want you guys to please find specialized teachers for her. I want her home. That's where she belongs. And he fought and fought and fought and talked and talked and talked. He even put a newspaper ad in the Albuquerque Journal, and I have that little copy of that little ad. And it invites other parents that have visually impaired children going to the School for the Blind, and hearing impaired children, parents that had children going to institutions to join him. After 2 years, my dad was able to get 2 teachers that were specialized, hired at an elementary school here in Albuquerque. And there was a few of us that were able to attend this school now here in town. And after 2 years, he started special education in Albuquerque. I was able to come home and go to this public school. I had to get bused in because it wasn't near our house, but it didn't matter. I was home. But my dad did that. He did that not only for me, but for other children that had to be institutionalized because they were visually impaired or hearing impaired. And we had 2 teachers. That's all we had in the state. 2 teachers. So, sorry for the lengthy answer to this question, but this is why my dad is my hero. He's done so much for me, both he and my mother. And because of him and his encouragement throughout my life, I graduated high school with honors, and I went on to the University of New Mexico and got my degree. And I worked hard. I worked so hard because my dad worked hard. Because he worked that hard. I didn't want what he did to go to waste. And so I would stay up until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to make sure I had every homework assignment done. I had perfect attendance for 4 years. And I graduated with honors. And I graduated 23rd in my class. I did that for my parents because they did that for me. And my dad and my mom are my heroes. I hope these other questions are easier. Okay, give me a second, guys. Okay. Oh, boy, I didn't think I could read the questions before, but now it's really hard. Let's see. Uh, oh, have I ever performed on stage? Oh, well, this is an easy question. Oh, so as many of you might know or may not know, I am in a classic rock band. So yes, I have performed on stage many, many times. I play keyboards for our band. Um, and I have actually performed a lot throughout my life because I've always been involved with music, starting at a very, very young age. So yes, 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 I've been on stage. The coolest stage I've been on was at a casino, and it was the Route 66 casino. And how or why I say that's the coolest stage is because when you're on the stage and you actually start to perform, the stage goes from a basement level to a second, third floor level. So as you're starting to perform, the stage just rises until it reaches the top. That is the coolest stage I've been on. 14. Uh, did I go to private or public school? Well, went to public school, but as you know, in there a couple of 2 years, I went to the School for the Blind in Alamogordo, and it's considered an institution. So that's where I went. Okay, final question. Uh, who was my celebrity crush when I was growing up? Okay, you guys probably know about this too. My crush of all time, and I still absolutely adore him. I have everything he and his family have ever done. I have all record albums, CDs, DVDs I can get my hands on. I had posters plastered all over my wall, and that is Donny Osmond. Yes, and I certainly love all his brothers as well and his sister. So the Osmonds, and especially Donnie. So, oh my gosh. Oh, so um, those were the 15 questions. And I want to thank Gail for tagging me. She's such a dear, dear friend. I really do appreciate all her love and support. Um, let's see. I want to tag. Um, I want to tag Linda from Linda's Thrifty Life. I also want to tag Patty from Patty's Chance Halls. And let's see. Is there someone else I was thinking of? Once I end the video, I'm going to say, oh gosh, I forgot so and so. Oh, yes. And if you guys don't want to do this, it's perfectly fine. But it would be fun to get to know you and, listen to your and see your answers, listen to your answers. Is Janet, and her channel is Janet K. So Linda from Linda's Thrifty Life, Patty from Patty Chance Halls, and Janet from Janet K. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate all your love and support. So until next time, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive, and until next time, you guys rock.